Oh. Ah, there you go. Why did unplugging my microphone briefly just freeze my camera? Audio drivers are weird. There we go. Audio drivers are so strange, man. And, like the fact that you can edit your audio in some way, and it can break so many different things. I've had so many problems on my PC where like an issue, an issue was like caused to audio drivers, even though it's to do with like the graphics or something. It's like audio drivers down. I'm like, what do you mean, audio drivers? This has nothing to do with my audio. This has nothing to. Wait, do I sound alright? This has nothing to. Wait, do I sound alright? Okay, sound a bit muffled. Oh, and it might just be because the audio is saying I'm on myself. Smile. There you go. Let's get some lo-fi music on. It literally says you can use their music as long as you have a description. Every single time I get YouTube like, but copyright, well not strike, but copyright, we have to, you can't get ads on your video now. Just like, it says in the description, I can use it in my videos. There, jeez, I could not see my Discord server. I don't know why. My brain is like, could not recognize it for a second. Announcements at everyone. Let's get her done. Nice. Oh, just loaded up the wrong game. Or wrong project. Hey, how's it going? Nice. Both of those combined are excellent. Man, I've noticed after the last couple of days, no one is replying to me except one of my friends. All my other friends are just like, I guess this is an answer to how I'm doing. Have I frozen again? Are you okay, camera? What is going on? I have plugged it in a USB 2 instead of a USB 3. Let's... So yeah, hopefully that won't freeze now. Yeah, I don't know why, but recently, like, hardly any of my friends are replying to me the last couple of days. Camera freeze. Which I find very odd, but I'm quite an active person when I talk to people. That's not me throwing shade to anybody. I'm just a very active person when I talk to people, so... I don't usually leave it any longer than a day before replying. Just because I guess I just enjoy speaking to people. I just got very frustrated the other day. I don't want to talk about this too much, but I was talking about work stuff with one of my mates, and I was talking about one of the artists I have in my company right now. My company, I work with in my company, as in the company I work for. God, my company, that'd be nice. And I I know what I was getting better at UV mapping in Blender, by the way. I could UV map this in Blender and see how we go. But yeah, I say that it's really awkward because I gotta get on the 0 point. How do you make new scenes? It's like hard. Old Blender, you used to click a box and you go to a different like scene. Sounds very windy outside. Sounds very windy outside. I mean, we'll just unwrap it here. I'll try to move it to the center of the grid in a minute, I guess. Oh, you know what? I could always just isolate it when I want to move it to the center of the grid. In fact, we'll isolate it now anyway, because I want to UV map it. So, yeah. So other day I was thinking about a junior artist that I work with. Let's make that not an end gun. And I was saying about this junior artist keeps starting late. Scene or scene. Scene, like you could swap between scenes, but I don't know. They removed it in the recent Blender, and now it's like collections instead. Yeah, making me lose my train of thought. Is there not a way to just select from one point to another? Blender. Oh, control. There you go. I've wanted to do that for ages. I just never experimented. That's be fine, right? Yeah, and I was talking about this artist who kept coming back from work late and stuff. And, you know, I was talking to my friend about this because we used to always talk about he used to tell me about how his boss was like, and that he had trouble with his boss, and his boss was a bit annoying and stuff. You know, I was always like, oh, that's just sucky, you know. And I always give my friend benefit of doubt and assumed he was in the right. Even though he may have not been, you know, it's my mate, so I assume he was in the right. The reason I'm bringing this up, because the other day I mentioned his colleague to him that basically keeps showing up late, and one day I needed some work off of her, and I checked to see when she went on break by just going into check-in channel where I had checked out previously. In fact, I was probably already in the channel, but I was like, oh, when is she going to be back? Okay, she checked out at 12:30. You're a nice guy. Thank you, man. That's coming in with that. I mean, I'm about to say something that might make it sound like I'm not a very nice guy, so bear a minute, you might change that opinion after what I'm about to say. So I checked to see, you know, I went onto the check-in channel. We all work from home, so we have a Discord where we basically say when we're in and out. I checked to see when the person's out. So, okay, this person's going to be back at 1:30 because that's an hour later. I come back at 1:30. Well, I'm still working. I'm sitting here, you know. I look back at the Discord at 1:30. Oh, she's still offline. You know, okay. Half an hour goes by. You know, I look back up and like, oh, she's still offline. It's been an hour and a half since this person went on break. Okay. And then a couple of minutes after that, she goes into the check-in channel. She's now online. Her status says she's online, and she says, "In. New lock, new cut hair. New lock, new look. Hair's not cut. It's just." and it's wet, so it's easier to get into a ponytail. Mohammed, thanks for subscribing. I'm not going to say the rest, just in case I say completely wrong. Yeah, so I look and I'm like, oh, okay, she signed in half an hour later, and then she wrote, I've been in the last half an hour, even though, you know, every time I looked over it said she was offline. I was like, alright. And then when bosses spoke to me about this, because they've not been happy with this person, they've spoke to this person before about being in late, signing in late and stuff like this. I told this to my friend. Now, I didn't say the whole story about my bosses had already been looking into this. That's some good word, thanks. Yeah, and I want to do a story about how to UV map because it's actually not that hard. It works very similar to Maya. I know some people already told me it works similar to Maya, and it's not that I didn't believe them. I just didn't really want to unwrap in a different software because it's different software. You know, I'm comfortable in Maya. I wanted to use Maya for as long as possible. I think that's understandable. Anyways, I digress. So I told all this to my mate, minus the fact that we'd already been looking into. We'd already spoke to her loads about it, about her being late and stuff. And he's replied to me. Now, you guys may completely agree with him. I'm not saying he's wrong, and maybe from his perspective it may have seemed this way. But he replied back to me. I can't say what he replied back because I don't swear. Pop it in a notepad. So that will show you his Discord. So he replied back with that. Watching her lunch break and leaving time like a hawk is a bit shitty. So, from my perspective, this is just him clearly insulting me. He clearly thinks I've done something wrong. He's insulting me because he thinks I've done something wrong. Because, like I said, he's complained about his boss several times before. This isn't my boss, obviously. Hey, mate, cool, man. And I've obviously said to him, and I've always assumed he was in the right. You know, I've always said, oh. You know, and then he wrote stuff like, but have you checked with her, you know, see if an example of her and everything? Because like, you got to speak to her like a normal human, Steve. He added that as well. And I was like, we have. Like, I wouldn't be saying this stuff to you if we haven't tried to speak to her. But it annoyed me because I say this to everybody, never make assumptions. What I mean, bubble. I'm glad. Go ahead, can see. No, it's just back. Yeah, I don't necessarily think his reply was incorrect. Maybe he did see it that way. But to me, the way he wrote his response back, like, oh, watching her like a hawk is an shitty person. And I was like, that's clearly an insult. There's no way you can't spin that in a way where he was trying to say that like it was constructive. He wrote that to insult me. That's how that's been written. Simple as. What is this? Why doesn't it do that in Blender where I select it? It doesn't. It's annoying. I can select the island and see which one it was. It was this one. Ah, here. Unmark or mark. It's it. You should tell him off. I did. But he's not the kind of person who'd take what I wrote to him anyway and be like, oh, maybe Steve's right. He probably sat there and was like, oh, Steve's replying back with mean things even though I just said what is true. But what I wanted to point out, who's insulting our Steve, just one of my friends. It's not. At the time, it was an insult. He may have not meant it that way, but I knew we're allowed to do that. But what I wanna point out was I watching her like a hawk? You know, it's Discord. I just have to look over and see if she's online. I wanted work from her, and an hour and a half after this person's break had ended, I still noticed she was offline. Now, would you say that that's watching her like a hawk, or would you just say that's, you know? I wrote back to him. I was like, if I was in a workplace, which to. Oh, nice. Thank you, Tom. Yeah, was I watching this person like a hawk? Like, is that, because like I was about to say, if I was in a workplace and I need some work off somebody and their chair was empty for an hour and a half and then they walked in an hour and a half after the chair had been empty, I'd be like, you know, am I watching that person, or is that, I feel like that's just normal. That's just a normal workplace thing, right? If someone's not around for the time they're supposed to be around, it's just something you're going to notice. That's what I think. You guys can completely disagree with me if you think I am, you know, I'm in the wrong here. In fact, if you disagree with me, at least that would, you know, I might do a high poly for this. I'm just doing some extra edge loops here. I don't know if I will. I'll see what results I can get substance. But I'd like to hear your guys' input. See if I maybe I am in the wrong and I'm just not seeing that. Can't progress as a person if you can't accept, you know, there's a possibility I'm the one in the wrong here. I just spat a little bit. Sorry for that. Is there any of you need something from them and they keep you waiting? Yeah. I think that's sort of the point I was trying to make. But even then, I think it was also the fact. So this person has been not necessarily under review, but kind of under review, because this person, the first month they were working, they kept showing up late every day. Every day they were clocking in 10 minutes late and stuff like this. So I know it's only 10 minutes, but as a company, I can understand why they'd want it to be efficient. So even if the company was watching her to see when she was in and out, I wouldn't say that's necessarily... I wasn't doing it. I want to point this out. But I wouldn't say that's necessarily a bad thing. There's some things while working with this place, some things, and other places, not just this place, that people have come out with. Still, I'd mention it if it didn't happen a lot. I did, I mean... Yeah, I mean, it has been happening a lot, which is why I mentioned it. What did you do that's supposed to be wrong? Sorry, I missed that part. I don't know if she was just defending me there. My friend accused me of being an SHTTY person. I don't swear, so being a SHIT person, because I was watching her like a hawk, even though all I did was check to see if she was online because I needed some work off her. Because she went on a break at 12:30. I can't remember when, I'm just making up a number. But she went on break at, let's say, 12:30. I checked at 1:30 because the break's only an hour long. She still wasn't back, and then at 2 o'clock, she still was offline. And then a couple of minutes after that, she said she wrote into the check-in channel and went, I'm in, you know, I've been in the last half an hour. And I was sort of like, I mean, you haven't replied to any of my messages. I didn't message her while she was on break. I messaged her before, but she hadn't replied today. So I don't like messaging people on break. I get why companies do it, but I've never been one to want to do that. But the thing I did wrong, according to my friend, was I watched her like a hawk. And I just don't know. I don't feel like I did. This is one of those cases where, like, because the first person I spoke to about painted me in a negative light, it's not that I want validation that I may have been correct. I just want more input. You know, it's a very common thing people do, obviously. If you've said something to somebody, did you tell somebody she's on break for too long or complain or something? There've been... I said to my mate, who doesn't work for the company, because we've always talked about our workplace, because this artist has caused me problems in the past, and she has been late and signed out late early all the time, and she keeps being late from breaks. And this was just something I said to him, that this was a situation where she was back late. So I mentioned it to him because I was like, I needed work off her, and she was half an hour late from break, and then wrote in brackets, oh, but I've been in the last half an hour, even though she hadn't. Does that make sense? I feel like I speed runned that explanation, but I hope that makes sense. Hold on a minute. Oh, one of them has a bottom to it. What's going on? I'm still pretty slow at the UV mapping in Blender. I want to do more of it to sort of speed up my workflow. It's essentially the same, though, as thingy, as... I don't think you did something wrong. Okay. I don't know, I just thought it was a very natural reaction to me. Like the comparison I made. If I was in a workplace and I needed work from somebody and their chair was empty for an hour and a half, I would, when I started using Maya a while ago after using Blender, I was surprised by how good my UV tools were, even as a Blender fan, like the layout tool, etc. Maybe Blender better in that area. I mean, Blender has a layout tool. It's just very hidden. I've already spoke to my bosses contact me all the time about this person. She's a junior, so we talk about her because we review her. So these things, they mentioned it to me. They said to me about it that day. I didn't even have to mention it to them. But in a way, they have been kind of watching her, but that's because her performance has been lacking and she has been... she's been late a lot, so it's just like a... You know, it's a natural... In my opinion, it's a natural thing that happens in a workplace. If I kept showing up late to work when I worked at a retail place, I would expect my bosses... They've done this to her, to take me aside and speak to me about it. You know, why are you late? Is there anything we can help? Is, like... Maybe I need to learn Blender more. Like, yeah, to be fair, Blender's... I only literally learned to UV map, like, what, Wednesday? Yeah, we've spoke to her about this. We have spoke to her about this. But she's made it, honestly, I feel sorry for my bosses because she's made it very hard for them to speak to her because she kind of always acts like she's the victim somehow. I think one thing that's always, I've never been too, like my mum said, you don't take your personal life home from work. Now I know I'm kind of doing that talking to you guys about this, but it's just because it's one, it's a topic to talk about, and two, you know, I'm not getting the way my mum mentioned it was more you don't take your personal life from home to work. Because like one of the comments my friend made was like, "Have you spoke to her?" Which we had. He just assumed we hadn't. It's like she could have something going on at home. But even if that was the case, it's like what's going on at home. One, we had already tried to speak to her. She hadn't said anything. It's like had it been happening. Two, as mean as it sounds, that doesn't excuse like weeks to months of what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, just lacking, you know, lacking speed on their work, lacking performance, lacking turning up or to punctuation. And I know people are like, oh, but that's mean. But that's just, I don't know. I've never had a job where I felt like don't get me, if I was 20 minutes late and I was like, I'm sorry, like this bad thing happened. Sure, that's fine. I can understand that a bit more. But if unfortunately something happens in your life, then the next 3 months of work, your performance is just extremely lacking. You've not said anything when asked about why it may be lacking. I feel like it's pretty fair that to assume that your performance is just lacking. Maybe you guys don't agree with that, but I don't know. I've never let my personal life, things that happen at home, affect how I work at my job. Oh, that had a bottom to it on purpose. Because it's like sitting on a book, I forgot. But again, maybe I'm alone in that. That's just how I've always acted in these situations. Like, for example, unfortunately, my my pet dog passed away a couple of weeks ago. It was very sad. But I don't say you should be forced to get back to work. If you wanted to take a break and say, I'm sorry, I can't come into work today because, you know, my pet's passed away and I've taken it very emotionally, that's fine. I can understand that. But I wouldn't expect my job to be like, okay, you can do half the work in the next 3 months, next month, because you've had a traumatic experience. I don't know. I feel like it's a separate thing. My performance hasn't dropped because my pet passed away, but I don't really take that stuff to heart. It's never been like a very much taken to heart, which could sound like I'm a mean person, but I just never have. And again, I don't expect other people to have a heart of steel. But you know what I mean. I have a colleague where everybody is a bit afraid of. She is constantly skipped work and not there when we need her. On top of everything, she never follows the guidelines we give. And every time we confront her, she just gets really mad and upset and starts talking about us discriminating on her because she's a woman. Oh, I won't say anything to that, but my reaction to you saying that may be pretty obvious that maybe something like that's happened in my workplace. Everybody's afraid to confront her, including the boss. Depends on how severe. Yeah, it does depend on how severe, but it's just like, at the end of the day, it's a job. And I don't think you can just straight out expect them to expect less from you just because stuff's happening from home, because it's not. Other people are still performing. I know things don't happen to them, but the job pays you to do your job. If you aren't capable of doing your job, then I personally think it's understandable if they have gripe with that. I just always have. And I know people would say, but that's you defending the workplace. That's bad, Steve. But I've just always looked at it that way. If you can't perform, you can't perform. There's some leniency towards why you can't perform, admittedly. So like I said, if something has happened in your life that has been traumatic, but it can only go so far before you're just not a capable worker. And I completely understand why you may be let go. I know this is a very strong topic, but I'm just curious what you guys think. Do you think that's fair for the company to do? Do you think that's unfair? sometimes the workplace is right. Yeah, people really don't want to admit that, though. I've noticed. People don't want to say that the workplace is correct. My workplace, I think, are run by very nice people. So I rarely feel like it's going to be them doing something necessarily wrong. Yeah, I'm just curious what you guys thought. Because I do feel like sometimes people give me a pushback simply because I'm defending the company, and it's the wrong thing to do. It's like defending the devil. I'm like, but they're nice people, and I feel like they treat us fine. That's why I'm defending them. I try to not share a bias towards anybody, even if it's a workplace or an individual or an employee, or any other thing that could make you discriminate against for certain reasons. Like I feel like I've always tried to stay as much as I can impartial to anything that could be affected by that. What's happening down here? Oh, I think we hired to a specific job for a specific reward. It's a clean deal. Yeah, right? In order to make us happy, they expect us to do something, and that's normal. Yeah, right? And I feel like sometimes people just expect way more from the workplace than I feel like they should be getting. Like I said, it's as simple as if you can't do the work, you can't do the work. I don't necessarily think it's the place's fault if they're looking to replace you if you aren't capable of doing the work. Whether it's, unfortunately, for a reason like you've been having problems at home, I don't feel like that's the fault of the company if they want to replace someone who clearly isn't just capable of doing the work. I don't know. I'm not saying that this is in this case. I'm not saying that we are looking to replace the person I'm talking about. I'm just saying in general. I feel like getting mad at a company for what I consider just doing their job is very strange. I think a good example of a similar sort of situation is when I remember one of my friends got very upset that the government had removed... That's not Kyle. Oh, right. Really? That the government, or whatever, whoever controls this, basically had removed, for example, Pirate Bay. As in any deal, both parties should uphold their responsibilities. Yeah. It was a site like Pirate Bay or something. So a site that's not supposed to be around, you know what I mean? But people still want it, you know. Just because it's not a site that's supposed to be there doesn't mean people still don't want it. If I can go watch a show I want on a site because it ain't shown in my country, you know, I might go do that. But I know that the site's not supposed to be there, you know what I mean? And I remember my friend being like, he wrote like a comment on Facebook, got really upset about it. Probably makes it harder for you if other people don't do the work, so it makes sense. I guess that's the thing as well, Finn. I guess in a way it is affecting me, isn't it? Maybe that's why I didn't really think of that that thing to it. Maybe subconsciously that's why it bothers me so much, because it is affecting. In a way, I guess it's affecting my work in any workplace I've ever been in. I've had people who are super lazy when I worked at Corals or when I worked at Lidl's. And for example, at Lidl's, there were some people who just sat on the till all day, even though I was never allowed to do that. As soon as there wasn't a customer to serve, I had to get up, grab a pallet, pull the pallet out the back, and start stacking shelves. See, maybe that's why it bothers me. And it didn't particularly cross my mind to why that was the reason. I can't remember what I was saying now. Oh, yeah. So it was like, and my friend was complaining about like Pirate Bay and everything. And I wrote in these comments, I probably should have wrote this because maybe I knew it was going to antagonize him. But I was like, but isn't the government just doing their job for removing the site? I was like, I think I wrote, I don't like it when they do this because I like using these sites. But they're not doing anything wrong. And he got so upset with me. He was like, you know how I feel about this and everything. And I was just like, oh, sorry. Oh, that was really odd. I was just like, but is it the government that's doing their job? I don't understand. Here you go. So to who said it earlier? Was it Glomp? Oh, may I borrow some teeth? Hold on a minute. It's just that I am making a soup on Tuesday and I want a little crispy crunch. Again, I'm sorry, but I'm desperate. Yeah, sure, man. Sorry, I didn't see that. I'll send you some in the mail. I actually got a whole pack in my drawer, so I'll just send you some of those. So was it Glomp or was it Finn? Who said about the UV mapping in? in Blender. Basically, Pack Island, which is the same as layout. If I click Pack Island, but first, wow, that's huge. So Pack Island is great, but first you need to average the island, which is essentially the other thing layout does in Maya. So if you average island scale, it will make them all sort of the right shape, the right size, and then Pack Island. Oh wow, that came out pretty good. I actually download movies from Pirate Bay, even though I have both Netflix, just because of the subtitles from Pirate Bay are much better. Really? Huh. I won't lie, I've been on some of the sites recently. I shouldn't say that on stream, but it's because some of the things I want to watch aren't available. I know I could get a VPN and probably watch it that way, but a lot of stuff I want to watch isn't available in this country. It'll be like, it's not available. I'm like, what do you mean it's not available? I've seen some YouTube videos that do that, and I'm like, ugh. So I go to somewhere else and I watch it, technically in a place I'm not supposed to, you know? But what else am I supposed to do, man? I can't watch it anywhere. I've not been given the legal means to go watch it at a place I can watch it, right? Amazon ran out of stock. We ran out of online licenses. Come back later. Thanks, that's helpful. You are welcome. I will actually do a tutorial on how to UV map in Blender, because it's actually the way I UV map in Blender is exactly the same as I do in Maya. In Maya, I don't use all those fancy tools. I never have, and I probably never will, because I don't think they're necessary. Like, I actually want to show this. I've shown this a couple of times on my streams about UV mapping, but I want to show it again because I think it's pretty. If you could do a job with a hammer instead of, you know, going and getting oh god, what's an upgrade to a hammer? An electric hammer. Instead of getting like an upgrade, if you could just go tap, tap, tap and it's in, instead of having to go through and get these really expensive tools just to tap in a hammer, that's overkill. And I feel like that's the same process when we're talking about Blender, Maya, sorry, and its UV mapping. And I guess Blender too. Because some people keep telling me to get tools in Blender, but after realizing how you do it, I don't think I need to. So, for example, when I did this ladder, so you get given all these tools up here, right? I've never clicked on this box before. I always just close it. I've already got this UV mapped, obviously, but we'll do it again. Because when I UV map in Maya, all I do is go, okay, let's select the edges I want to do. Let's select the, I guess, islands I want to do first. Oh! Okay, Maya. Oh, I'm sorry. What the heck? Let's try that again. Welcome to Maya. Yeah, that's also why I don't like Maya very much. Recently, I just keep having so many crashes. I wouldn't mind if I was like doing something demanding, but it's the fact that the crashes keep being like super like simple stuff. Like all I did there was try to select. What did I do? I selected a couple of faces. I went to UVs, and then I went to close the toolbox. Are we good this time? Right. So all I do when I UV map anything in Maya. Oh, I went to isolate it. What? I'm so very confused. I don't get these problems in Blender. I can't remember the last time I saw Blender crash. I've been using Blender probably about 90% of my work at the moment. I will sometimes use Maya when I need it. Admittedly, I've only got Maya Lite. All right, let's do that again without isolating, I guess, and hopefully it will work. Because I want to explain this to you guys. It's very important. Or at least it's the point I want to make. So, set pieces. I'm not going to isolate it. Yeah, Autodesk. And then this is probably going to crash it anyway. So what I'll do is I'll unitize. I'll unitize it, which will put everything in its own little square. What this does, essentially, is every face you've got is now built, all thrown into this, to all separate squares, right? Doesn't really matter, because what we're going to do is then select where we want our edge loops by deselecting the edges. I've already dragged them down. I have. Whoops. If I deselect the edges. Now, they haven't got faces, I'm pretty sure, on the edges. So that's all we need to do. So this is us selecting our seams, similar to Blender, except I don't need to mark them. Then all I've got to do is move it so. Select what's been given to me. Unfold it, which is here. Or you can just press Control U. I was going to say V then. And then if let's say this is my whole mesh, just ignore these parts. And then if I wanted to pop them into my UV sheet, I just go Modify, Layout, make sure this is turned on, Preserve 3D Ratio, and then the shortcut for me is Control L. And boom. We're done. That's it. That's all it takes. I've never been one to get all these separate tools that people tell me to get. Oh, go to the toolbox. I'm like, why? I use what? Unitize, Move and Sew, Unfold, and Layout. I use 4 tools, and that does all the work for me. On fairly large models since I have... Oh, wow. And Ryzen 9 3990X. That's a really good one, right? I can't remember. It's been a while since I've looked at AMD. But I only keep it to save in OMS files in the end. Most clients require it. Oh, right, okay. But yeah, see what I mean? Like, I've always felt it's very unnecessary to use all these extra tools when they don't necessarily speed up the workflow. That's just me, though. I'm not saying you're wrong in using those tools. If you feel more comfortable using those tools, go for it. You know, I'm not going to say not to. Might need to step it up. Yeah, pretty much. I feel like that's something people always misconceive about people trying to help them. I'm not necessarily saying one way is better than the other. I'm simply saying how I do it and why I do it that way. If you're still comfortable doing it your way and you're faster doing it your way, do it your way. There's no reason to do it my way if your way you find more comfortable and you work faster doing it that way. And that's with any artist. If any artist tells you this is the only way you need to do it, this is it, then they're not being open-minded enough. Because there's so many different ways to do everything. There always will be. Bedroom table. In fact, one of the best parts... let me read what you guys are writing first. I use Blender. Nice. Iscalia. Iscalia land. If I said that right? I don't use all these tools either. This is the way. This is the way. Just didn't know Blender had a layout one. I didn't either. Blender's actually way simpler for UV mapping then. I swear every time I looked at tutorials, it did not feel this simple. But when I was kind of... I like to feel like when Tormansky was showing me, it was 50% him telling me what the tools were, 50% me using my initiative of how to use them. Scalia, that's a great name. If I unhide this now, should be nice. Okay. Oh, wait. Maya crashed again? Or was that an old warning? Let's get to substance. I learn every day of YouTube tutorials. To be fair, YouTube learning is as good as university. The only reason I would rate university, because I went 3 years, is because you're sort of forced to do, like this one, you're kind of forced to do the work in university, so you kind of push yourself more because you've got the impending doom of not matching your deadlines, you know, and that pushes you to get the work done. That pushes you to learn stuff that you wouldn't have learned because you were too lazy. You know what I'm saying? Bedroom table model. I actually use an add-on for packing the UVs, but the default one is quite bad. Is it actually? It seems to be working really nice for me so far, but when I make more complex stuff, it probably will be pretty bad. Alright, let's hope I don't have to go into ZBrush and we can get a decent result using the materials I'm going to be using. I'm at uni and I'm forced to Maya. I don't think Maya's bad. I just feel like I can get a lot more done using Blender. I was laughed at for enjoying Blender when I went to university. UV Pack Master 2. What's it cost? Oh my god. Oh, I thought it was $29 then. Wait, it is. Wait, is it? There's a pro version. Oh, that really packs them though, by the looks of it. Yeah, see, that's what Maya does. So what this is doing, so what a lot of software tends to do is it packs it as if there's like an invisible square around each of the islands. See this? Know what I mean? Whereas this tool seems to ignore that and just throw it into space. To be fair, Maya's a little bit better. Maya does kind of do this a bit more. I try to work 1 or 2 hours minimum. Nice. I have a store in Second Life. Oh, I have a 1-year-old baby. Okay, and he tells me, he tell me when it's my time to work. But I have deadlines. So I have I sell for events. Ah, okay. It just crashes and needs to step up. Yeah. I made a GIF a very long time ago. I wonder if I can find it. You know, like D-Day from Ten Private Ryan when they're all being shot at and stuff. Oh no, I didn't make it. My friend made it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't make it. And he made it so like when they were getting shot at, it was error messages from Maya, and when it's like it blew up, it was just like loads of error messages flying around, and then on the screen it was just flashing "F you, Maya" and everything. It was so funny. Oh, so Starlight's wrong. I was gonna say I've got a lot more Starlight's materials than that. Starlight's metal. Had it. White mask it. That'll probably work. I just can't bother to go into ZBrush for every single thing. It's going to take us so long if I try to ZBrush everything. I do tend to make my own materials for Substance, yes. Really depends. Like, one of my scenes... 90 degrees, that. Oh, that's scale. I sometimes will jump into Substance Designer and make someone there. I will rarely make them myself and look at a video on how someone did it. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, gotta select it manually anyway. So what I'm going to do here, as soon as we get the normals the way we want it, is ignore the color, because we just want to get a nice normal from it. I already read that. I swear something just popped up, and I just popped up in chat, but it's already what I wrote. Already what I read. Let's take 5. That's good. So what I'll do now, if you reason I learned to sculpt in Blender is because of speed, I can retouch my high poly while doing a topology. Yeah, that's true. To be fair, all I need for this is some little cuts in it and stuff. But I'm hoping it will look good enough that if we just let's get some normal maps on this as well. Can I use a procedural for this? What one that looks like kind of dented? Cells? No. I don't think I'm going to be able to write the word metal and get something, am I? Oh my god. I mean, that could work. Then all I want to do is take the information here, slightly adjust it. Not really. Maybe I'll leave that for now. So what I want to do is go file. I used to make medieval things that I love, the table and the wood material. I hate you so much. Have you seen my scene? I didn't actually make this wooden floor. I found it. It was already in my... I must have added it at some point because it was already in my substance. But these I've been making. Like, oh, here you go. The only thing that wasn't textured by me here was the floorboards. Everything else is me. That's not very good. I kind of want to redo that. I have a better idea on how to redo that as well. Redo that. This scene is, this angle is definitely getting more and more detailed, and I can't wait for it to be finished. It's gonna be so cool. I just need a way to make the floors and the walls look good. But I don't do a lot of interiors. I'm more of a prop / exterior artist, and if I do interiors, I don't tend to actually make all the walls. I just get given a room and be told to fill it with props. So I've not had a lot of practice actually making all this stuff look good. But when I finally get this looking good, which I will at some point, I'll have that practice and I'll be able to take that into new scenes. Yeah, I kind of want to make my own as well. I'm just thinking of different ways to do it, because it's not too hard. Like, there's a couple ways I can do it. I can make a procedural material in ZBrush. I can't remember how to set it up, but I know you can. And then hand do it like I usually do every material, where I basically get my cheap brush, go up and down, up and down, up and down, flatten some parts, and then I'll sort of use the cracks tool to get some like grain work in there, and then I could just pop the screws in, probably just in a... probably take it to Substance Designer and then pop them in using that, and then I could turn that into a procedural material I could use in Substance, and then I could take that and pop it in here and it's using it as a tile material. That's the process I'm thinking of how to do it. And if I do it myself, I could get it looking more like the wood we got going on here, because it looks close, but it's not quite there, right? I read so much last night. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I've been reading Death Note, and I got the all-in-one edition. This has 2,000 pages in it, and I am here, which is the end of the book, because it's obviously a manga, so it's in reverse. So I'm nearly done, but I've been sitting there every other night reading for like 3 hours straight. I actually, because someone was selling it really cheap, I have the box set for it, where you've got all 13 volumes. Where is it? It looks very cool. I've also got these. Oh, wait a minute. I've been buying a lot of books lately. I've also got the Walking Dead, like, super thick comic books, which I'm very excited to read. I've never actually watched Walking Dead, and a lot of people tell me that the books are really good. But honestly, I've never spent as much money on these. I've not even spent that much. But I don't tend to spend a lot of money on myself. Where is... I've got a lot of One Punch Man books recently. I don't know where it is. I have the Death Note a proper box set. And it looks very nice. And I got it really cheap. I just got on Facebook and people just sell stuff really cheap. I wouldn't spend full price on them just because I'm not that into reading. I've got comics, I've got mangas. I haven't got normal books because I'm too lazy to read normal books. Yeah, no, I'm selling anything at the moment. What is this? Oh, that's actual normal books. Yeah, I'm too lazy to read normal books. I just want comic books and stuff. I have like a whole box of really thin comics as well that my brother gave me when I was very young. And then he wanted them back, and my mum lied to him and said we didn't have them anymore. Because she thought it was really mean that he was like, here you go, have these, this is for you. And then years down the line, he was like, I want them back so I could sell them. And my mom was like, well, my mom just thought, well, you gave them to Steve. It's really mean. Just take them away. This is when my brother is somehow watching my stream right now, and he's just like, I knew it. Like, keep your files as organized as you can. I'm kind of organized, but I'm not at the same time. My stuff's all over the place. But they are usually... So what I'm doing now is I'm exploring all the normal maps, right? The reason I'm doing this is because if I'm like, oh, I want to fill up these cracks with some highlights. Oh. Should have probably duplicated that, actually, and made it really strong normals. If I want to fill it up with highlights, we'll only highlight the edges right now, because it's not taking any of that information from the normal map. So what I've done is I've exported it so I could go into my textures. I can't downgrade myself as painter. Ha, sucks to be you. Honestly, I've made sure not to click update. I don't even know if the new one's bad. I just know that Adobe did its own little spin on it. How could this be true? Oh my god, where did it save on my desktop? You don't even want to see my desktop. I have at least 200 things on my desktop. Where is it? Bedroom table, there it is. So what I do is I drag in the normal map we exported, tell it's a texture. I only do it for the current session because I don't want to or I should have actually done it for the project, for the current project, but oh well, I haven't even saved it yet. 1 second. No, substance. See, I wrote my files like this. I'll give them their specific names. I was making an anvil. I'd name a file anvil. Then in that file, I'll go model, texture, substance, ZBrush, whatever. It does not save all the time. Right, yeah. I never used the pirate, yeah. I know, but I guess the STD. Whereas I know some people who store all their models in one folder, call it SM_chair, SM_table, and store all their textures in one folder, kind of like how you do it in UE4. But I don't like doing it that way. I like having them all separate as if they're like their own little projects, because it's just easier to get into them and know what texture belongs to what. Where if all the textures, like 2,000 textures, are in one folder, and I've got 7 projects called table, I'd have T_table1, T_table2, T_table3. I don't like that. I like them having their own separate folders. I remember having this, not argument, but having this discussion a while ago with people in my chat who used to talk. They don't talk anymore. One of them's gone, the other one doesn't speak much anymore. And they were saying like, no, you should do it that way, like the way that I'm saying I don't like. And I just really don't like doing it that way. Okay, so now that I've got this in, right, pop it in your textures here. I can get rid of it. This one. Get rid of it here now. I should have probably made it stronger. We'll see. Rebake it, but turn off our normals. I kind of want our curvature to be a bit higher, and we'll turn up the secondary of that. And what I'll do is it will now pick up all of those little edges. At least it should do. I don't think it did. Oh, let's try that again. Pop this back down to where it was. 1 second. I may have not made it strong enough. It's getting the ambient from it, but not the curvature. Let's try both this up. That's a bit better. That's gaining information now. There you go. Now you can see we're actually picking up all that information, which means when I put... So I don't have to use that wood texture anymore, because I can essentially make my own now, the information that's given me. So if let's get rid of that for now. Create it. If I go, actually, I've got some wood in here. Obviously, I use wood all the time. If I get one of my stylized woods now, so my other ones, this one, it should, fingers crossed, ooh, fill in those gaps. But like I said, I think I may have made it a little too weak. It's kind of doing it. So let's redo that process. Do a duplicate of this, so it's a bit stronger. Then export that. Cool. Pop that in now. Turn that to a texture. Turn it to project. Import. Pop that in instead. That should make that stronger. Delete or hide those two. Now rebake it. And it should, there you go. The ambient occlusion is really picking up, and the curvature. Cool. I should have taken it. Why did I take the material out? I get our stylized wood. There you go. Now we're really picking up some of that detail. Pop that underneath here so we get those colored in already. And we kind of have the bases for our table. So what this is doing is it's just telling us, oh, pick up those edges and make them a lighter color. The more we get here, obviously the more it fill out. Turn off this texture so it just fills out our curvature. Something like that. Cool. Yeah, it's a lot of little tips, I guess. Like these are just things that talk myself, but yeah, a lot of little things you can pick up using Substance that saves you a lot of time and still gives you quite nice results. So do something like this. So look, boom, it's kind of woody. Now I can again do it in Substance to get a nicer result, but we're doing this to save time. I know I've been sitting here a long time doing this, but trust me, if I had to do each of these words in ZBrush, which I have been doing in the past, it would be here a lot longer. Now, because it's stylized assets, we want to do over-exaggerated sort of blending and gradient masks. So the first thing we want to do, don't know why I'm moving so much, is come into here and say, okay, we want some big shades coming from these parts. Now, we've got some shade, obviously, but I want to hand paint these. So I'm going to go pop that above. Hold on a minute. What does it look like with this above that? I guess it looks better like that, which means I'll keep this above. So, back mask, paint. Now I don't even need to use the my pen for this. I've actually got a tablet. This is on a tablet you're watching. For those of you who've not been here very long, just paint all of this. We don't make mistakes. We have happy little accents. You know what? I can paint that as well. It's fine. If you do end up painting bits you don't want to paint, I think I'm fine painting that, but if you do end up painting bits you do not want to paint, if you've done this, you can press 4, make sure this is set to 0, go to the one, what's it called? It's got a name? Mesh fill, and then just take off the mesh that's selected. Not very hard. A big part, in my opinion, of getting all this stuff working isn't how good you are of an artist, which does help. Don't get me wrong. Being a good artist, being a naturally good artist, is your music you're using safe for streaming. It apparently is. I still get random copyrights when I claim that they're not copyrighted. They're usually fine. It's just Lofi, and on Lofi, it says on it, people listening, blah, blah, blah. Oh, is it on their website? It says like you can use our stuff on your streams, as long as you post our URL. And that's what I do. I post a URL. If you scroll below, you get music provided by... Oh, no, not that one. Music provided by Lofi. Oh, the link's not working. Let's use a new... Let's update my link. Wow, it takes a long time to get to the edit page. Edit. Save. There you go. That should now be working. Because I've been to their official site and it says you can use it. You can post a link. Oh, I just had myself talking. Does that link work now? Nice. Maybe that's why it's being copyrighted, because the link wasn't working. What surprised me. Yeah. yeah, being a good artist is obviously always going to be helpful. But if you know the tools and you know how to, I guess, abuse them to your advantage, you'll have a much easier time. So multiply, and you honestly you work less. Thank you, Tomansky, for donating. I still forgot what that currency is. For super chatting. Thank you so much, man. Oh my god, look at that freaking huge thing that came through. Thank you. I'm glad my thingies are working though. My overlays haven't been working for God knows how long, so out of nowhere they've started working. Thank you so much for your donation. Every little bit helps, and it keeps me doing what I love doing, which is sitting here chatting with you guys, making a bit of a fool of myself most of the time. Cool. Next step I want to do is either this or this. Don't worry about, also, if you're just drawing it with your mouse, don't worry about, like, oh, look, it's messy. The only reason you're doing this, maybe more like this, is because you're going to blur it. Gradients are a really big plus when doing all this, like, stylized looking stuff. And it's very subtle. You can already see. Then that's coming out. Now, I kind of want to make it a little bit bigger. You're more than welcome. Thank you so much. So nice to me. Honestly, this last year, you guys have just been so nice to me. We could probably get something between these two. Maybe actually not those interior faces, just the exteriors. Yeah, gradients and noise mask. I rarely use tablet and stuff. Yeah, I use it from time to time when I want to draw in some special stuff. Like if I was like, oh, I don't like some of these, and I could come in here and, you know, do little details and stuff. But yeah, it's honestly not required. I'm learning a lot today. I'm basically teaching you all the shortcutty ways of not having to actually be a good artist. Everything I do is techniques and methodology. Because I don't have the keen eye like most artists. I don't know why you guys are over here. 1 second. I don't have that keen eye like most artists. I can't just say to myself, oh, so I make myself, essentially, I mentally make myself a set of rules. If there's a big open face on an asset, this isn't a face, but you know what I mean, big open area, put a highlight on it, boom, slap some gradients, some overlay gradients, make that a bit pop, a bit more, a bit brighter. If there's some areas that have an object intersecting it where ambient occlusion will build up, boom, gradient mask is going to make it darker to over exaggerate that. And next rule I'll show you is boom, 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 boom. I am traditionally educatedized. Yeah, is that what's called? As the next rule I'm going to do is every time I make an asset, and it's not going to be an asset that rotates or anything, or I want to flip in different directions, like for example a crate. If you want to achieve a consistent style, you've got to do that. You've got to do what you're doing. Yeah, methodize it. Yeah, there you go. I used to use this Photoshop, but not in Substance, but from now on I will use it. Oh god, it's so hard in Photoshop. I used to use Photoshop. Is that even a word? Methodize. I think methodize. It sounds like a word. Methodize. If it's not, we need to make it a word. It is a word. It must be the American one then, because we usually use S's over it, right? Yeah. No? Yeah. Yeah, well, here you go. Here's another rule. So, again, make another layer. If you didn't see what I did, so all you got to do, make a fill layer, black mask, right-click the black mask, add a generator. This is something I've been doing recently. This is like I watched on someone else's video a while ago. I can't remember why I was watching the video, but I wasn't watching it for this purpose. But he randomly said, oh, we're making an asset, you know, and he was doing realistic stuff. He wasn't even doing, stylized, but he was like, we're making, I think he was making a grenade. He was like, make it so the top of the grenade, this is obviously is not a grenade. For any of you who just trying to like, this isn't a grenade. Make a top of a grenade like this. So it covers that top part, overlay it, and it'll make it a bit brighter. Or turn this up first, it'll make it a bit brighter. So that's obviously a little too bright. And you also want to swap the hue of the overlay to essentially be, so if we get our base color, which is this, right? I want to make the hue where it's brighter positive, I guess. So I want to drag that hue slightly towards that yellow side. Turn up to about here. Just lagging. down so it's subtle, and we get that lightness from the top. See that? Very subtle. Doesn't have to be over the top. Now, repeat that process. Not white mask, black mask. Well, it doesn't actually matter because we're going to put a generator on it. Position mask. Invert it. Make it so the color's coming from the bottom now. Just like that. Maybe a little bit higher. Maybe just covering. You can mess with it as much as you want. Doesn't really matter. Select your multiply. Click on the color, as I was doing earlier. Turn off everything but color, because that's all we want to change. And already, you can see it's getting darker from the bottom, which is... If we swap out these two, see how much that's changing the object. The color, I want to turn this up a little bit more. See that? It makes it look more situated, positioned in the scene. And like I said, if it's an object that's going to be flipping around and you're going to be placing it, you can't really do this. But if it's going to be something that's stationary, this is really nice. Now, I'm not done yet. And he's not done yet. Click your color. Now, again, what's the base color we've got? We're working from this as our base. It's already kind of doing what I want. So, instead of going positive in our hue, we'll go a little bit negative. Bring it slightly down. Bring it to maybe here. Bring that down. And we get that slight bit of red in there. It's downloaded a pirated older version of pirated older version of Substance. Now it won't open my file because it was made in a recent version. Nice. Right, so you see that? So it's getting that slight red hue. What we've got to do is pop that up a little bit. Again, subtlety is key. It's not going to be over the top. It's just got to be enough that, as you can see, when I swap it out, see that? See how much it looks like? It just belongs. It's hard to explain. You know what I'm saying? Sound like Bob Ross here. I still don't know about this. This may be a little too bright. Maybe not. I don't know. It's hard to tell until you're actually in the engine. Alright, lastly, I want to copy these. Now, you don't have to do what I did where I'm basically putting them just on the wood. You can just put it at the top. The reason I put it on the wood is because I like changing that hue. With the metal, I don't need to change that hue. I just need to keep it grey. Looks really cool, Steve. Thank you. Even though it's a very simple asset. Okay, so now we've got this part changing. See that? So the bottom and the tops change just the slightest. Metal part. Happy little dirt, but it's interior. How would she have got that on it? I would add that, but I've made everything so clean that now I feel like that's not going to match everything, right? What I do want to do for the dirt, though, for the metal, is go into here, turn up this. No, turn up this. Aha, this. And just get, like, blotchy bits. Which is probably what you meant, but yeah. Just to give it some... Oh, you can tell it's, like, repeated. Maybe just like that. Just a little bit to make it so it's not a flat colour. Cool, and we've got our basic wooden table. So we're going to export it normally now because we don't need those normals anymore. So this is about using Substance as well, which is always good to see. You can avoid using Substance and still get a good result. It's always a positive. I have not organized this for ages. Oh, for Iscalia, who didn't see, like, I've got a little character. She kind of looks a bit weird right now because she just has her eyes wide open, but yeah, I wanted to be reading a book. You know what, can I... It's very hard to position it right now because I haven't got a book in the scene, so I can't just sit one in her hands yet. I just want to redo my rock a little bit. Because the edges just look too smooth. Look, see what I mean? I wanted it to look a bit more flattened when the normals came in, but they don't. So I'm gonna have to, I might have to change that at some point. Nothing wrong with getting some work done and having to change it later though. Never feel like, I've always said I'd rather get it done than sitting there for 20 hours doing one asset. How long did this table take me? How long have I been streaming? I've been streaming an hour and 10 minutes, right? And I've been talking to you most of the time and being distracted by things and whatnot. But I could have, you know, taken this, made it look perfect by getting a ZBrush for it, by spending 20 to 40 hours in it. But I don't want to. I want to get a scene done. And I know those of you probably sound like, oh, Steve sounds like a broken record. He said this so many times, but it's very important. If you want to get a scene done, you have to work with how fast you can go. Are they in the floor? They are. If you can't go very fast, then you need to find ways to do so, because you'll never get a scene done if you're super slow. And you take 20 hours per asset. Sound like a broken record, Steve. Hey man, I don't know who's new in the chat, so it's important I repeat these things. I know you're just joking around, but I do apologize if I re-show work off, if I go to my outstation, if I do repeat a lot of stuff. But obviously, we don't always have a consistent, the same viewers. So I do like to repeat stuff because I do want people who haven't been in past streams, who haven't heard me talk about this stuff, talk about it. Because a lot of stuff I say, I like to think is quite important and will help you guys out in the future. So I don't want to say it once and then be like, that's it. Never said it again. I have a friend who hates when I repeat things. I'll say a story to him, and then I'll say the story to him again, maybe a year later. And he's like, oh, you said this to me like 20 times. And I'm like, I didn't even realize I told you the first time. He hates hearing the same story. If someone repeats a story to me, I sometimes won't even tell them they're telling me the same story, because they seem excited in telling me, you know. If they're like, oh, this, and this, and then this happened. I won't sit there and be like, mate, you've told me this. Why are you telling me again? Like my friend does to me. But if someone's doing it to me, I'll just be like, oh, really? Oh, mate, that sounds so cool. Oh, wow. You know, I like it's the first time they're telling me, because they're excited about telling me. Why would I put them down by telling them, mate, you've told me this, can you stop? I don't want to hear this a second time. I've heard it once already. I tell her the same story over and over. I get, wow, that ended up really bright. I get at some point it could be a little bit annoying, but I don't know. It's never bothered me. I say to that one friend, you've told me this already, because he does it to me. That's way too bright at the top. Let's have a slight adjustment to that. It doesn't look that bright in here. You see what I mean? You can get such a different looking effect in one thing. So turn that down to maybe only there. And this is at 100 admittedly, so maybe turn that down, turn this back up, and we'll do something like that instead. So the reason I like getting it in here though, because now I could just right click and re-import them. And it's just already changed for us. That's a lot better. Wow, the texture quality looks really low. I don't know why. Oh well. Cannibal. Oh, you know what? I need to be replacing as many of these books as possible with ones I already have. One thing I've always said to my friend is like, because I've got most of my mates, which is totally understandable. Most of my mates will not want to sit down and watch someone else have fun while they're not participating. Now, I can say I agree. I feel the same way in certain cases. Let's say I'm playing a shooting game and I die, and then they play the rest of the game without me. You know, that could be very like. But for example, when I play Fall Guys and I get out, I'll watch my mates to the end. You know, I won't go off and watch YouTube. I'll watch them because it's fun for me to watch them enjoy themselves. Now, this isn't always the case with a lot of people. That's fine. I'm not saying that these people are wrong. Because if you just specifically don't enjoy it, you don't. But for example, I used to invite people over my house and get them to play VR because I had a VR headset and a lot of my friends hadn't played one. So I'd invite them over and get them to play VR, and I'll just sit there and watch them. And I remember one of my mates just left the room because he was bored because he had to watch someone else enjoy themselves. But it's always been fine for me, you know. It's just like chill. Watching someone else enjoy themselves, I just find enjoyable, right? I can understand if I'm the minority in that, but I completely understand that. But yeah, I just think it's chill. I do need to do the exterior of the books. Maybe we'll do that quickly. Have I not got an exterior of the book? I feel like sometimes I sit here and it's like I'm trying to make excuses to why I'm a good person. That's not what I'm trying to do. Someone did give me some books. The reason these books are really awkward though. Wait, how do I scale down the blueprint? Someone gave me like a blueprint of the books. It was really cool. Can I just scale it down in here? That's a really long book. You see that? So when you place it, it will change what it looks like, which is very cool. I do apologize. I can't remember who did it. Was it Paco? No. But the reason it's really awkward to use it is like if I'm like, oh, it's just off, and I try to place it, it's just constantly changing shape. Then I'm like, oh, you know, I want to rotate it now and pull it here. It now might be too thick and not matching. Yeah, stuff. Oh man, I'm really tired today. I'm tired every day. I don't know why. Isolate just this thing, yeah. I have to admit, the nice thing about marking seam in Blender versus Maya is Maya got to kind of select everything you want and then start doing the UVs, where here I got the privilege of marking it and then moving on, going to another part without worrying about having to reselect those parts because they've already been marked. I mean, there's positive and negatives to all of it, you know. That's just one of the positives. Using Blender's version over Maya's. Gotta be something like this, right? Or this. Wait, this. Wait. Hold on. Brain. Head empty. Yeah, it's gotta be something like this, right? So all the edges. I don't know why. I just feel like UV mapping is like not one of the most important things, but an extremely important thing. Oh no, that is right? Yeah, that's that, and then this is that. Yeah, perfect. Nice. Sadly, we've got all this empty space here, but what are you gonna do? Technically, I could shrink it and then use a like 512 by 256. Oh wait, we still got the page. That's fine. Maybe this will take up a little bit extra room for us. What if I unwrap them now? I was gonna say that won't work. That's a nice thing as well, Blender. Is if it can't be unwrapped, it won't unwrap it. Maya does not do this. Maya does not give you the same privilege. Maya's like, I can do it, and we'll give you the most disgusting looking mesh. And I'm just like, why did you think you could do this, Maya? Or disgusting looking island, should I say, not mesh. Wait, so where is that selecting if I do that? All the way around to here. So I just need to select this, 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 and mark that as seam. Pretty sure I got a viewer who doesn't watch me anymore because I use Blender over Maya. That's fine. I'm not saying he shouldn't watch me, but I technically lost viewership because I've swapped to Blender. Oh. Wait, it's not selected at all. That's why. There you go. Hey, the Dev Ninja. How's it going? I should have already averaged it because the reason I already averaged it is because I unwrapped it all in one go, so it averages it for me. Dev Ninja, I learned how to UV map in Blender. Are you proud of me? Please sit in as well. Yeah, I wonder if I could. Geometry to origin. There you go. I wonder if I could just set it to its origin. It's not quite right anyway, but it's not even central. Then pull it up. Then export that. I am proud of you, Steve. Thank you. Open book. Oh god, I feel so exhausted. Man, what is wrong with me? Ooh. I slept for more than long enough. SM_open book. Save. It's coming to Substance. Have I got a book on my desktop? Because I originally made those books a while ago, and I want to use the same texture. Bookshelf, bookshelf, book. Open. Wait, no, not open. This PC. Go to my desktop, right in the word book, and see if I can find anything. Book, bookshelf, bookshelf. Huh. What's the book's called? What is book called? Stylized book. Stylized book. Stylized book, there it is. Close this. So it probably won't let me. So what I like to do, oh, I made it grey, didn't I? Because then I changed the colour. What I like to do is go like this. Now this doesn't always work. I wish it did. But if I go like this, sometimes it will replace it. Aha, it did. Oh, it did, but it's on a different layer. Bugger, I can't go back to them. I don't even know which one's which. File, open return, stylized book, don't save. Long one. Wait. I have them on two different materials? Okay. I don't mind. Kind of a waste of UV space, but it's fine. Then Blender, if you want to assign new materials, just go no. Change the color. Sign. If I come into here, you'll see that that should now be blue. Oh. Well, the whole thing's blue, so I'll create a new material. Assign. make that green. Sorry, there you go. Let's change the names to reflect what we have in Substance, so that way when I import them, we should replace them. So the book itself is thong 1. So that is not the book, so that'd be 2. Wait, has it got a capital? It does not. I don't know if that's going to make a difference, but just in case. I spelled thong wrong. I wrote phone 1. There you go. That should now, when I export it and then import it, replace that book, hopefully. Fingers crossed, because sometimes it won't work because the mesh is too different. But I only do it because I want to reuse those materials. Aha! Boom. Oh, wait, I just realized that's supposed to be the book as well, the pages. Silly Billy. This part here. How do I just select an island without selecting faces? Nice. Wait, no. It's this one. Nice. Sign. There you go. Attempt number 3, apparently. Just say yes, because it'll just reopen the same one. There we go. Rebake that. Sweet. This is obviously not correct yet, but it's fine. Back of the book. It's fine. Wow, it's really hard to see the color of it, isn't it? I kind of want a dark bit on the back. So that, and then we can smooth that over. Might be fine, to be fair. Just to give it looking like it's bending more at that point. So what I should have done, which I haven't done for the other books, so I should have done a proper spine, which I neglected, and now I kind of regret it, which I might maybe fix in the future, but I don't want to do it for now, because again, it's wasted time. But you know, like when they have... my pen sensitivity is not turned on. Okay. And then like when they have oh, it does sound like this. And then here. Like that. So that's our gold texture. But only it's like really simple. I made it a bit more less rough, metallic, cool. And then I'll just put that in a folder, probably. Black mask the folder, white mask the folder, and then remove all the areas. Make it look flat. Probably added a bit more detail than that, but you know what I'm getting at. Make it look like it's an actual spine with some detail on it. Maybe put some normals around there, you know what I mean? But I didn't end up doing that, so I don't want to do it for this version. That's fine. We're not looking for a lot of detail for this. The pages, I don't want it to look like this. It's close to what I want. I want it to be... yeah, that's fine. I want some ambient occlusion in that center. That, there you go. Blur. Add a separate blur layer, I think. stuff. Cool. So we get darker edges. Doesn't look as good, but it works better. So something like that. Up a little bit. Doesn't bend around there, but that's fine. You're not going to pay attention to that. Cool. So what is... Oh, God. I want this spot to be very dark underneath the page, personally. So... Go like this. Go like this. Oh, actually, go like... this. There you go. Come into its 2D view so we can see what that actually is. That's that part. So all we've got to do now, I hate when it does that, but that's fine. I can fix that in a minute. Is turn you off, turn you up. So 100 apparently. Come around it. Don't worry about going over the edges because I'm just in that. Something like that. Disable it from these guys. Oops, disable it from these guys. Like that. That should be affected. All that in between parts there. Oh, that part's still being affected. Filter. Filter. Blur. Pull that out. Nice. So multiply. Turn the tone of that down. Now, let's blur that. Yeah, it's blurred enough. If we set our levels to that now, I can actually sharpen that out a bit. Either that, or I could try to paint it a bit more accurately. Oh, there you go. I was like, it's selecting it like really weird. It's because I didn't have it covering the whole thing. Yeah, it's going a bit too much over here now. It's really annoying because, like, if your center point is off, it won't paint on that. You see what I mean? But since you come on, boop, it starts painting on it. I don't like that. I wish if I was off it would still paint. I don't know if there's a way to fix that, but it does bother me. So I could always make it smaller. Too dark, obviously, so we'll turn it down. Sharpen it, or blur it less, I guess. Blur it less. Sharpen it up. There you go. How much longer do you think you got on this scene? I don't know. That's a big question that I actually have no idea how to answer for now. Because it's just a very big scene. Cool. Save as, because this is actually a new one now. I think as soon as I think of a way to get the walls and stuff looking good, we're done, really. because it's all just like the little bits that, you know, will just take me some extra time. Like the door will take me maybe 2 hours, bed 2 hours, you know. It's just all these little bits that gonna... Oh, it's because the texture pool. But yeah, it's just... I should really work on it more off stream, but because I'm obviously working full time at the moment, I just don't feel up for doing all the extra work. I want to see what it looks like when we actually build the lighting though, but because things don't have light maps at the moment, I can't really do that. We dropped down to 4 viewers, what the heck? So yeah. Open back. Oh, whoops. Probably end the stream very soon as well. It's windy. Is it raining? No. I can feel the breeze coming in there and I can hear it. Perfect. Half that size and we should get the size it's meant to be. Cool. I obviously don't want to pop that on, but we need to make our own materials real fast. How do I always do that with the M at the end of the ORM? Don't capitalize it. Hello, F2. Thank you. F2 is the rename button. It wasn't working. Wait, they're the exact same. Wait, what? Oh, I somehow duplicated it. What? And then it's busted. Okay. Well, I can't even delete it. I think UE4 just had a bit of a spasm. I'm so confused. Why does it think there's a texture there when there isn't? That's so strange. Did that fix it? I may have fixed it. That was very odd. Pages. It's partly why I'm trying to not do stuff as much in ZBrush now, because I want to get the scene done. If I can find shortcuts, I will take them because, you know, again, I want it done. Yeah, that looks kind of good book. Not got anything written in it, unfortunately, but... yeah, I'm hoping to be a bit quicker with some of these methods I'm using. Wait, no. Wait. Oh, open book, yeah, sorry. Because I know it might have only been a book and a table, but we just did essentially 2 assets. Maybe I'll... oh, that's the wrong one. Maybe we'll try to get the other table done as well. Let's have the other material. So now I'm wrapped in one very well. I can see it's sort of bent, but oh well. Right now, how were these made? Just with a multiply. That's fine. Why don't you have a simple master material for the regular stuff and just use material instances? Because every time I've tried to do that, I end up having just super complex instances, and it just feels... people have told me to do it that way as well in the past, but it just feels like I have way too much going on. Like, I'll end up with this, like, basic master material that has, like, freaking 200 nodes in it just because, oh, I want to change this, I want to change that, I want to change this, I want to change that, and it just ends up really overly complicated. It's probably the better way to do it. I definitely don't argue that. It's just I tend to, I don't know, I just find it a bit overwhelming. I see. But I mean, you're probably right. It's probably the better way to do it. I just gets a bit too much for me. Because like right now, you're right. Like this could have been set up with the other instances, and then I just swap out the texture. But that means every single simple material has this color multiplier and stuff like that set up, and yeah, I don't know, it just gets more and more complex over the time, and I just have too much going on. Whereas having it all separate, I'm much more grounded with what's happening. I know it is an excuse, but it's why, it's the reason. So I hope that suffices. A good enough reason. It's really love you, my friend. Love you too, Glump. If you love me, where's those dollar bills in donation? Blue? We've already got blue up there, don't we? I never expect any donations from artists because we have to pay for so much anyway. Like, yeah, as an artist, we got to pay, especially a digital artist, we got to pay for software. We got to pay for utensils, like a freaking huge graphics tablet with a pen. So if anyone ever does donate, I do proper appreciate it, and I never expect anyone. There's never an expectation that you guys should donate ever, because I don't expect it from people who are also artists, who are also, you know, having to pay for all this stuff. It's rough. Being an artist is not a cheap life. Why is... Oh, wait, this doesn't have a texture on it. It's fine. Oh, I can actually put booking around, finally. I mean, it doesn't really make sense right now anyway, but... It might look a bit cooler if she's actually kind of holding something. Okay, that's not the direction I wanted to do that. I have a... Wow, that fit in her hand almost perfectly. I think it works better at the position we had it. It's a bit off with the back of the fingers. But it kind of looks right, doesn't it? It's cool. No open books down here. Oh, my shield. I throw some assets from my old scene in here. Which is just that here, actually. I thought it was a couple. I kind of want to take this off, actually. Yeah, I think I like it without. I should make it so I change the color. I wonder if I could do it with just this material. This would be fancy if I can. So, all of that's colored red, right? Right. So I wonder, I could take the red. So if I take the red and round it first. That's not like the opposite, isn't it? Alright, what if we invert that then? Stop it. Invert that. Nah, that ain't right, right? Yo, hey man, how's it going? You're late. I know you were probably working, but you're late. That's not right. This would be better to actually do this in Substance. I'm just seeing if I can be cheeky. So this is like the painted stuff here. So if we go to here, that is technically highlighted. Ah, but it's not there. Okay, so this won't work, I think. Oh, am I just in time? You are not a wizard. You cannot just claim to be on time. Or are you a wizard? I want to make it moderate. So I kind of want to redo this chest and make it so we could change the paint color at will. Because I actually be doing that in my work stuff at the moment, which would be nice because it means they're not all just red. So I think that'd be pretty nifty. You know what? We're gonna do this today as well. I think we need to change the chair because she is way too small or too big for the chair. So scales need to change a little bit, but that's fine. Nice, that would be cool. I just need to find where I saved your chest, really. In fact, we'll have a quick look now. It might still be on the desktop. Oh, nice. Yeah, I don't think I put the color from bottom to top on this. Oh, I did. It's just, again, very subtle. I see that. This is a great example of using that method. See that? Very subtle, but it gives it that position in the world. Having that highlight from the top and then darker at the bottom. So, where's our paint layer? So that was clearly... What? 4K? I actually think I could do this chest better now. I don't think it turned out poorly. This one. So all we need to do is grab this. So I'm going to need Photoshop for this. Export master clipboard. Hell yeah, this music might be a bit loud now, actually. Oh, God. Photoshop open. Why am I not signed in? It's a work account. 1 second. Should be that sign in, I'm pretty sure. Please don't ask me also for a password. I do not know. Okay. Oops. Is the password? Is the password? Is the password? Nope. Is the reset. Wait. Really? That's not the password? Okay, reset your password. Give me 1 second, lads. Wait, I've not even got an email. Trash? Spam? Why is it trash and spam? Isn't it the same thing? I just want an email. Maybe it's not this account I'm using. Man, freaking Photoshop. Why is it? Everything I had work account on. Reset password. Resend code. We have sent you another code. Now it will tell you that you can't use your old password. I hate when it does that. It's not even sending me a code. Is it not this account it's under? I don't like when it does that. It doesn't tell you that the email address you're sending a code to isn't registered. I've had that a few times. That's frustrating. Do I have GIMP installed? No. Damn it! I just wanted to do like one little thing. I can't really do it in Paint. Because what I essentially just want to do is go into Substance. Can I do it in Substance? Maybe. Wait, that's the wrong one. So I want to take this mask. Okay, what if I spot mask clipboard or copy mask actually? Copy mask. Come to the top. Paste into mask. There you go. So now we've got all those parts selected, but we don't want these parts selected. Now if I do this, nope, that didn't work. Can't do it like this, can I? No. So no, because I'll still generate two different masks. Because essentially, I just want all of this selected, and then I want to deselect these parts because I don't want to be able to change the color there. I just want it on this. Because essentially I want this inverted, right? Because I was invert masks. There's so many things here. I essentially want it like this because this would be the color, but then again, I just want to deselect everything that's not the wood, which would just be like this. But I need to essentially combine those maps together, which I can't do right now. It's very, very frustrating. Probably should have just black masked it. Whoops. Yeah, probably should have just did this. You see what I mean? But man, why is Photoshop? Every piece of software I have for the company, every so often just stops working. And I don't... Whoa. I don't think to test it. Yeah, then essentially I'd need to export this out. I guess what I could do... Hide every other layer. come into here, turn this like black and white, and then, or maybe the reverse actually, make that white. Underneath that, make this black. There, and then I can export that as a map. That should work. What a weird way to do it. Just throw it down to my desktop. My bosses do say that I have a knack for like overcoming obstacles when I don't have the right stuff. It's raining. Hold on a minute. Oh, I thought it was open then. Oh wait, does it still let me use it? Oh no, it doesn't. Because this is still up. Boom, there it goes. Krita. Oh, I have Krita actually. You know what? I have Clip Studio Paint, which is what I paid for. So I could have actually just used this. I love Clip Studio Paint. I made some cool drawings with Clip Studio Paint. It's just got really nice. Oh, they've changed it all. Have they? Yeah. This. No, I thought my pen was dying. It is dying. Like, it's just got some really nice feel to it. Okay, I need to plug in my pen. Where's my charger? Oh god, I'm gonna have to find it. I'll have to find my charger at some point because my pen is clearly dying. Oh, yep, there you go. Can't even remember my signature about dying. But Clip Studio Paint's very nice. I love this software. Got some dirty marks on my screen. I need to clean them off. But it shouldn't matter because what I just did should have rectified the issue. It should have essentially made it look like a mask, which it does. Now if I come into the material, pop that in there. Technically, I don't need this part anymore, but whatever. If we lerp it, then we go the normal one there, and then this multiplied by a... Well, first of all, this completely desaturated. The reason you do this stage and don't just throw a color in there is because you still want all of that ambient occlusion stuff that's in the texture. Set that to a multiply. And then make it white for now, just to see if the color works. Just to see if this works, we'll stop. I might have done this the wrong way around, so we'll quickly check that as well. Check that as well. I was late. Also, hello. Hey, man, how's it going? We had so many different conversations today. Oh, yeah, wrong around. Yeah, that should change the color of it. So I'm going to plug that in. Yeah, it should go grey. If we want to try to default it to its original color, grab that, grab this, select like this, brighter. Oh, what? It says it's here, but the values are 1 here. What's going on? Okay, much brighter than that. That should kind of... Oh, still not enough. Maybe we'll connect this also. Just multiply it by 2. Just basically blast that color a little bit. Because the original color to it's quite dim. So I'm multiplying it by very low values right now. Oh, that's already looking closer. the max value already, so I'm going to times it by 3. That way we've got more room to wiggle with. Got more wiggle room, should I say? There you go, right? Now, that's already an instance. Create another instance and say this one we want to be blue, for example. What I've got to do is swap the hue. I can either drag it on here and go pop, or we can just adjust the hue. Like that. Then make it darker, maybe. Then we got a blue chest. Not as good as I thought it looked like, but it's definitely something. Definitely works. So what happens if I just make it look wood colored? Just like a chest. Pretty cool. Our red chest still down here. Can always change another one of the chests. Yeah, to a different color. I mean, works. Not anything too impressive, but it works. What a weird way to get that working, am I right? Move this somewhere out the scene so I don't have to look at it anymore. Oh, come on, Blender. Don't fail me now, bud. There you go. Should I have redone these? I have like kind of trash ones in there at the moment. Because I use my old ones and they don't look as good. I might get these done at some point because they do look better. And if I'm using that method of just, you know, using that material, exporting it, importing it back in, I could get a lot of these smaller assets done pretty quickly. So it might be worth it. God, there's so many rectangles in that. I really can't bother to do it right now, though. Right, last table. I should have just somehow reworked the tables, but instead I've just have like 4 different tables. So I'm these. I need to. So I select that. Select. Let's see what I'm selecting. Cool. Deselect. That's right, moderate. I'm UV mapping in Blender. How do you feel about this? And Wolf, I guess. It's better. Point no, I want to keep that part. I'm proud of you. You didn't even like Blend. Hey, Moose, how's it going? Not seeing you in here in a bit. In a hot second. Boom, unwrapped. Lovely. Oh, they got tops to them. Do I need tops to them? I do not. I want to mark that as a thing, because that turns to metal down there, so... As this time of day in this location, based entirely in your kitchen. At this time of day, completely localized in your kitchen. Yes. May I see it? No. He uses that mad artist energy. An absolute legend. I need my glasses on to look even more artist, but I decided for contacts today. Less sophistication, but more overall performance. If I get this asset done today, we've done 3 assets in one sitting. That's good, isn't it? I cracked the F up when you did that. Lovely. That's what I like to hear. Well, in my work chat, we always do Simpsons quotes. Like what I kept doing the other day was, "That's Handsome Pete. He dances for nickels." A quarter, he'll be dancing for hours. I don't do the best impressions of them, but I do the quotes. Oh, it's too hot today. I've never seen Simpsons outside of the movie of me. Really? Oh man, I love the Simpsons. I loved it. Steamed hams. You call them steamed hams even though they're obviously grilled. Excuse me for a moment. Well, I'm pooped. What's going on in there, Aurora Borealis? Oh, Aurora Borealis. I love his... Can I see it? No. I just love his genuine interest. Can I see it? Or may I see it? Can I see it? May I see it? I can't even remember now. It's great. It's probably, even though it was just like a short, it wasn't even an episode. It's probably my favorite, one of my favorite Simpsons things ever. I think it's hilarious. I'm a Family Guy man or a Family Guy guy. See, I don't mind Family Guy, but it's definitely not something I like watching full episodes of. Because, I don't know, they don't have plots or anything usually. Well, I guess in a way they do, but a lot of the time it's just... I remember when this happened, and then they'll show like a short of them doing something or interacting with somebody in a very short clip. It's just never been that interesting to me. Boom. Done. Technically, I should mark all the seams. I shouldn't unwrap them separately and then unwrap it now, and it'll just throw them all in. Sweet. See how easy it is to unwrap in Blender? That's part of the show. Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, it's like a visual for the one-liners. It's just never appealed to me that much. One of the legs is badly mapped. Oh, this one. You're right. You're right. When you're right, you're right. Where is it? Ah, that's why. Good eye. Wow. That's nice. We'll mark it all. There you go. Still got kind of funkiness here. But I think that's just because it's got, obviously, that cut in it. Well, I push F, it feels all that. I never knew that. It's because of this that's kind of canon it that way. Thank you very much for noticing, though. What do you mean? Talking about this stuff is my work. Oh, that's actually perfectly positioned. Nice. A bedroom table too? Second bedroom table. Create my folder layout. That's nice for textures. Steven, spell your words correctly. I'm sorry, mother. What about what my typing speed's like today? Let's do a speed test. Oh, Adobe gave me the verification codes. Jesus Christ, guys. They all came through at once. So one's typing speed test I like to do is this one. It's all just random words and I don't have to worry about punctuation and commas and stuff a lot of the time, or capitals. So fast my typing speed is today. I feel like I'm slow today, to be honest, so we'll see. I'm faster on my laptop. I guess it's because its keyboard's a bit more condensed. Alright. Oh, already spelled one wrong. I remember trying to get my parents start doing some of these because I said, oh, if you guys want to get better at typing in PC, it's really good to do typing tests. And they were like, I think they did it like once, then they never did it again. I was like, guys, these are really good for your like practicing a typing speed. Especially this one, because I'm not worrying about punctuation. It's just random words. Ah, I spelled that wrong. Yeah. Oh. Ooh, if I didn't mess up, I actually would have got over 100. And my talking probably slowed me down a little bit. Not bad today, not bad today. Wow, I feel like that's got harsher. I feel like I was above that at one point. See, when I want to type accurately, I can. I'm just really lazy. When I type incorrectly in chat all the time, I thought I typed fast. I've asked you type, Moose. I remember someone saying that to me in a chat. He was saying about it's been overly nice, which isn't a bad thing. But he was like, man, you're just so talented and all of this. And I was like typing to him like, oh, you know, it's just practice. He wasn't talking about typing at the time. I was like, you know, it's just practice. You get used to these things and you sort of learn more and more as you go. And then he was just like, oh my god, even you're typing super fast. I was like, oh, is it? So it's just get better over time. I can't do typing tests, but when I'm typing what's in my head, I could type mega quick. Yeah. I think I'm better at typing tests. I don't know, having the words, like I can very easily sort of read what I'm seeing. I don't necessarily read it either. I just like see parts of the word and know what it says. Like I don't really, like, I don't know. I sort of just see parts of the word, know what word it's meant to be, and then basically say it in my head and then put that into what I'm typing. Yeah. One thing I've always been bad at is when I type and talk at the same time, I start typing what I'm saying. I do that so often, and it's caused me to type the weirdest sentences in the past. Thou? Okay. Ooh. No mistakes that time though. 67, I'm bad. Try doing it while talking. I'll be curious well, you can't really talk to yourself, but I'd be curious to what speeds people get if they're trying to talk at the same time. Because people always say it, don't they, when they're playing games, like, oh yeah, but I play worse because people are watching, and I dare say that's true. I'm not judging them for that, but it's quite amazing the difference people can perform when they're one being watched or two speaking while doing it. Man, my thumb is killing me. Ow. Ow, my thumb. Is my hair dry yet? No, not really. My hair takes a really long time to dry. I should get a hair dryer. 62. Ooh. Go on, moderate. Your turn. It's funny as well, because obviously the people you're around, you'll feel worse or better. I know a lot of people in university who could easily type over 100 words per minute. So it made me feel like I was the worst one. Why would I even try to speak while doing it? I'm just curious at the speeds, how different, like the percentage of lack of speed you may get while talking. What's the site? It's just write speed test, typing speed test, and then it's the fourth one down. Typing test at AOEU. You know, I was seeing someone say the vowels the other day, and it was like AOEUI or something. I've always said AEIOU because it's alphabetized. That's from the beginning of the alphabet to the end. AEIOU. So trying to say the vowels in a different order really throws my brain off. AEIOU. Yeah, that's how I say it. And it's even easier because the IOU is a phrase. You know, I owe you something. I owe you. So I always say AEIOU. But I think it was Death Note. And it was saying the vowels like AIOUE or something. Not even that. It was even more mixed up than that. And I was just like, that's really weird. It took me like 3 attempts to read it. How many files have I got called with S in it? I just wanted this. Did I not call it the second? Wait, what did I call it? If I call it the second bed. Wait, what did I just call that file? Did I not put it on my desktop? Desktop, second bedroom. Oh, do I need to refresh it? F5. Aha, that probably did it. Second bedroom, there you go. That was well confusing. Absolutely the same result. Oh, wow, okay. It rolls off the tongue. Yeah. LMNOP. Yeah, LMNOP. LMNOP. It sounds weird saying it fast. LMNOP. 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 I always liked tongue twisters growing up because one of the ones I remember hearing when I was a kid was the how much wood could a woodchuck chuck, a woodchuck could chuck wood. And then I remember my dad telling me one which was like, I'm not a pheasants plucker, I'm the pheasants plucker son. I'm busy plucker pheasants to the pheasants plucker cubs. Oh, I actually messed up that time. And then as it carries on to, I'm not the pheasants plucker, I'm the pheasants plucker's mate. I'll be busy plucking pheasants because the pheasants plucker's late. I'm not the pheasants plucker, I'm the pheasants plucker's wife. I'll be busy plucking pheasants because that's the pheasants plucker's life? I think pheasants plucker's life. And you have what? Seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. There you go. I'm really bad at 37. Wow. She sells seashells by the seashore. Peter Piper, Pitter Pickle Pepper. Peter Piper, Pitter Pickle Pepper, or which I can't remember how that one goes. There's a bit more, isn't there? Then you had the red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry. Which, no matter how much I say it, and I just said it correct there. I don't care what you say. That was me saying it correct, but because you say it fast, it sounds a bit weird. But people be like, you're saying it wrong. Like, no. Saying red lorry, yellow lorry that quickly sounds like that. Red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry. Whereas a lot of people say lolly, red lolly, yellow lolly. I can't even say it incorrectly. And then type just makes it so difficult. See, I've always had a very, very weird vision because I got a lazy left eye and it doesn't focus on depth very well. Never has, and it never will because I just have a lazy eye. So I think instinctively I learned how to look at stuff without looking at it. Like if you know those games where you've got like 3 or something and then they move them around, you know, and they go to a different order and move around. I don't look at the thing that it's under, and I never have. When I look at the 3 things and they're moving around to change position, I just look straight forward. And in my mind, I color the one that the ball's under red, just from a mental perspective. And when it moves, I'm looking at all 3 of the balls. Like, I wonder if I could find this. It's an Adobe game, so I can't play it. Is there any does Opera still support Adobe? I feel like Adobe's not supported anywhere. Not Adobe Flash, sorry. It's not supported anywhere anymore, is it? Makes me sad. It's not supported anymore. Man. Wonder what happened to the sites then who used to only have Flash games on it? Have they just like stopped? Well, some of them still seem to work. Chrome, I am on Chrome. Basically, it was a cup game, and I was going to show you guys how I do it. Same with table tennis. When I used to play table tennis, I never look at the ball. I look straight, and I basically judge where the ball's going while looking straight. It's just like I've always done. I don't know. I've never looked at the thing I'm actually trying to focus on. I always look at the general scenario and use my peripherals to pay attention to it, and then use essentially, I guess, my calculations in my head to know where it's going without actually having to do it. Oh, that's cool. I hope they do that. Oh, I hope they get that working for all sides. I miss Flash, man. Flash was such a great... I used to use Flash when I was younger. It was so good, man. Like, I'm so sad it's not a thing anymore, really. It was a way for everyone to express themselves on the internet. It was before money was involved as well. No one really cared that they weren't getting money for their Flash games, which is crazy to me, because they put in a lot of work. I mean, I totally think they should have been paid for it, because like I just said, they put in a lot of work. We just want the normals right now. Oh wait, no. I want to duplicate these again because we realized they were a bit too weak last time, didn't we? There you go, make them nice and strong. Nice and strong. Re-export, there you go. Get rid of these now, or at least I should be able to. Do our textures, drag in our textures. Wait, that's not the texture. That's the texture. Texture, current project. Plonk that in, we'll get our normals back, rebake. What do we have for this again? We'll just turn both of them to full. Turned you up. Oh. I should have done that. I should have done this. Turned off normals and then redone it. And that would... Oh. I was like, why is that going so fast? There you go. There we go. I like how it's just metal right now. So like some wood. That one or that one. I don't see a difference. Oh, probably that one. Glad it really like deepens it. You can kind of see the normals messing up, but you're never gonna really notice. Alright, I just want boom. Oops. What if I could just go add occlusion, that. Not quite what I'm looking for. Kind of works though. Play. Up there. Turn everything else off. Turn this down. Cool. Man, everyone must be busy. Like, no one's just replying to me at all. Either that or I, for some reason, I've put a bad impression and no one wants to talk to me right now. Could be that. Well, we don't have to distract you. What do you mean? Maybe they just don't want to speak to me. Yeah, it could be it. Could be it, yeah. I can't rule that out, let's be honest. Yeah, usually latency is really bad. Yeah, sometimes it's fine and sometimes it really gets messed up. Doesn't look like it's blended a bit more. From a distance, it will look a bit more blended if I just paint these areas in. This looks a little less sharper. It wasn't a question either. I was just saying that like no one's just be very chatty today. Not on here, as in like my friends. On the weekend, I'm usually getting, oh, Steve, we'll play this game or this and that. But I've messaged some of my mates, and they're all busy. Busy people. A very social butterfly. I like to communicate with people quite often. Some people may see that as quite a needy friend, which I don't blame them. If I have a friend, I want to chat with them. It's just how I look at it. I've never been a person who's particularly scared of chatting with people if I feel like they don't want to speak to me. Because I've always said if they don't want to speak to me, especially if it's been weeks, then, you know, I'll just lose interest in chatting with them because we're friends. I thought, you know, it doesn't happen often, but I'm just saying, you know, to me, my friends just stop talking to me for like months. I'd be like, oh, okay. That to me just indicates we're not really good friends, you know. It's always these sort of touches that take up the most time, and you always end up having to do them. Yeah. It's something that you sort of just like do as well. Like here, getting sort of these different tones I got going on, just to add little bits of detail. See that? It's like not huge, but it's enough that it does affect the detail. Rotate groups friends. The friend pendium. I've actually got a really weird thought process when it comes to friends. If I don't speak to someone long enough, they just stop being my friend mentally. It's really weird. I've always been like this. If I just don't speak to someone long enough, I just stop seeing them. I just stop registering them as a friend. It's not particularly their fault. I've just always been that kind of person. So that's why I put the effort in trying to communicate with people. Because I know if I don't speak to them for a long enough time, I won't care much about them. So I've just always been that way. Many people are just not able to chat. Oh yeah, I completely understand that they're not able to chat. I mean, as a human, we can't help but put together our own false assumptions on things. Oh no, they're not talking to me because I'm a bad friend or this. That goes through everyone's heads naturally. It's just how people work. People tell me, they're like, oh, I know I suffer from depression or anxiety because I have these thoughts. And I'm like, no, everyone gets these thoughts. Don't get me wrong, it may be more severe for certain people, but everyone gets these thoughts, and you don't need to feel bad about it. It's just how people work. We instinctively picture sort of worst case scenarios and sort of negative things because it makes us more prepared that if it is that thing. If I mentally prepare myself that, let's say someone's not talking to me because they hate me, and then a week later they tell me they hate me, at least I'm more mentally prepared for it than if I thought to myself, oh no, it's all hunky-dory, and then they tell me to it, it's more like a bomb. At least I feel like that's why people naturally work that way mentally, because it does prepare you for the situation. I suppose it always adds up to make something that looks better. Yeah, it does. I know you took with the asset. It does. It just sort of all comes together and gives it some more feel. Did they come back from the other end of the Pendia menu or buddies again? Friends are just people. Yeah. Right, yeah, I get called bipolar for displaying the emotion known as anger. People forget people can be mad. It's crazy. I feel like in our generation, it's become such a. I remember when I was in uni and people just acted differently to other people. And to me, that's just their personality. That's just how they act. But a lot of people, they were like, oh, they probably have something wrong with them. They're probably challenged in some way. And I'm like, which, maybe some cases were true. But I find it rude to assume that, in my opinion. Apparently, that's not a common consensus. People think it's less rude to think they might have something wrong with them because at least you're giving them the benefit of the doubt. But in my opinion, to assume something's wrong with someone just because they act differently than another person, I think that's weird. I don't get that. People just act differently. People have different ways of thinking. People think, like you just said, people get angry based on certain situations. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It just means that's how you act as a person. You may have a slight shorter temper than other people. That doesn't make you a freak. That doesn't mean like you're bipolar or you suffer from anger issues and stuff like that. It just means, don't get me wrong, when it goes to the extreme, yes, I agree, you can be those things. But when it's not to the extreme, when you're just being a normal person and demonstrating certain emotions and certain ways of thinking, it's just people think differently. Not everyone's identical to each other in their mental patterns, in the way that they perceive certain things, in the way that they take in certain information. Like I said earlier, unfortunately, my pet dog passed away. And I know a lot of people who'd be very upset about that. I'm not that kind of person. That stuff doesn't really get to me on an emotional level. I wouldn't say there's something wrong with me for that. I just have a better coping mechanism for it, But at the same time, if someone's crying over that, I wouldn't say that they're emotionally, stunted or anything. I wouldn't say they're suffering depression. They're just showing that they're sad over a situation that would make a normal person sad. It's okay. She was old. She was getting... She got put to rest. She's didn't have to suffer anymore. This conversation was restored by faith in humanity. I just stop thinking everyone's weird, man. People just have different personality traits. It's just a part of who we are. There's nothing wrong with that. It's crazy to me that people go straight to that assumption. It makes me kind of sad. People are just people. Maybe that's why people get upset at me. Maybe that's why I get upset when people tell me like I'm not being considerate. Because in reality, I'm always thinking about these things. I'm always thinking about being considerate. I'm always thinking about what problems these people are having. I just measure it up differently to people. I don't put it to extremes. That was a rad monologue. As always, I hope you guys do not mind these types of these conversations. I like to talk about stuff like this, and I feel like out of most people, I don't get too emotionally invested into it. I like to talk about these things more from an outsider perspective, as if I'm trying to observe these situations and these different things, I guess, instead of bringing in my own emotional input to them. I feel like I'm good at doing that. Maybe I'm not. but I feel like I tried to. Because it's a lot more interesting to talk about if you don't take it in a personal stance. Oh, that's incorrect. Whoops. I need to set it to a linear color. A tiny bit darker. Too much. Probably about there. Oh, so all of this is coming up to being textures now. Oh, what is that? All right. Oh yeah, I ain't done the feather yet. I was doing the feather, but I stopped for some reason. Wow, why is Did I need to lower the table a tiny bit? I think I did. Right, that makes sense. I say everything's like floaty. Or inside it. Nice. Oh. I really want to do this bookshelf. What does the scroll say? It's wrote very poorly because I have terrible handwriting and stuff. I think I didn't write by hand, but it says I got an IKEA furniture. I got a IKEA furniture for the first time, and I finished it in 33 minutes. P.S. Yeah, boy. Oh, your boy. Sorry. Oh, this is being yeah, boy. Steven, you've built a house. Exactly. I still need to think about how to get all this texture. Oh. I never noticed that before. I'm going to fix it at some point. Same with that. But it's poking out. I'm going to fix those things at some point. That's fine. I think I did yeah, boy. I think you did, yeah. I am immortalizing your scene. Hey man, if you guys ever want to like added, I love adding bits. I think the scrolls turned out really nice. Again, we need to really tell how the scene looks when we bake the lighting. But I'm still worried about getting this exterior done. This part's easy because you just work at that like it's a separate prop. That's super easy. This part here is pretty easy. Again, you just work at it like it's a separate prop. Same here. But here, how do I make this all look good? It's a very large prop. The easiest way to use a tiling texture, but what? I don't know. We're gonna have to see where we go with it. Let me quickly redo this. This turned out terrible in my opinion. This looks garbage. You guys are too nice to tell me that. Let's bake it without its high poly. Because the method I'm using now seems to be working quite well. Like if we go into, like, sure, it doesn't look as nice and custom made as these, where we've got all these different deformation. Same over here, and it looks quite handmade in ZBrush. Versus these, they look a bit more straight and solid, but they don't look bad. They're much speedier to do, and I can get the scene done a lot quicker. Got to shoot. Have a good rest of the stream. You have a nice good rest of the stream too. Later, player. Oh, I'm gonna have to do either two variations of this, or set it to triplanar and swap to not scale. No, to 9 degrees. Yeah, that works. White mask here. Black mask that one. Turn off this, because that definitely needs to be facing the other way. Come into here and turn on these. Rotate it 90 degrees. Or unrotate 90 degrees. There you go. Come into later. Good tunes. Yeah, thank you. It's just lo-fi, and it's lo-fi is always quite nice to listen to. Duplicate that, make the normal stronger. File, export. I actually have no idea where I'm saving this. Desktop, bookshelf. Oh, I've already got a location for it. Nice. I don't know why it's 4K, but whatever. We just want the normal for just normal for re-import. Export. Kill. I wonder, is there such I wonder, is there such thing as having to know a certain workflow? I usually see it as work the way that works for you, and don't always go off of other flows. Hope this makes a little sense. Yeah, sorry, I read that terribly, but I know what you mean. And then that nice soft-spoken baritone over the top. Baritone. Workflows really depend on where you're working. Right now, the job I'm working is I'm using a workflow that I used anyway. It's basically this workflow. So for me, it's not being very rough. Whereas for certain people, you know, you may have to adapt to a new workflow. It really depends where you're working. It's actually kind of annoying here. Oh well. We can delete these now. Go to textures. What's this doing? Well, it's doing the lights. Okay. Up. Yeah, but what does baritone mean? Is it like a... I mean, it's not monotone. That means it's a singular, like, voice. Baritone. Oh. It's a type of classical male singing voice. His vocal range lies between the bass and the tenor voice types. Ah. I think most workflows are standard as each step of the progress mandates a subsequent. Gee, what are these long words? I'm too tired to read these. Subsequent step. A baritone is a type of classical. Oh yeah. So it's like I can exaggerate my tenor and my bass tones of my voice quite nicely, I guess. I don't really know how to put it, but yeah. What am I doing here? Right, yes. This will be the last thing we do. Good progress today, though. Wait, did I just throw that into the whole project? Oh well. Cool. So that throw our normals on. Rebake. Ugh. Works quite nicely and stuff up here. What's happening down here? Delete that. That's better. Anyone in chat know any big words? I know anti-disestablishmentarianism. All right. Anti-disestablishment materialism. Anti-disestablishment Anti-disestablishmentarianism. There you go. I was saying it a tiny bit wrong. Anti-disestablishmentarianism. Materianism. There's not an extra T. Here you go, if you listen.
Anti-disestablishmentarianism.
Anti-disestablishmentarianism. It used to be the longest word. Lots of long words start with A. That kind of works, but it definitely needs to be underneath occlusion in this one. Turn it down. Cool. That's definitely better. It's still not amazing, but that's definitely better than what we had. Anachronism. Anachronism. You know what? Is a nice little story. Not really a story, just a little moment when we were playing Scrabble. So I was playing Scrabble with my parents. Me, my parents, and my sister. And I couldn't even spell the word. At Steve, do it before and after. Oh, I'll show you it in the engine. I was gonna look at it and then re-import the new one. This is the before, which is, I just think, awful. It's got a nice bottom bit, but and after. Yeah, definitely looks better. Maybe a little too strong on that on the edge. Yeah, around here it's a bit too much. Wow, but if I turn it down here, you get like no information on the rest of it. Why is it so strong on there? That's strange. Like it gets huge values on here before adding anything to anywhere else. I mean, what does it look like if we just leave it at that strength? And just have very minor highlights. Yeah, it's probably better anyway. That's still not right. Hold on a minute. That ain't right. Right? This side doesn't look like that, no. It's like half imported. What's going on? Base color. Normals. Okay, wait. That still doesn't look right. Occlusion. Oh no, that is right. A lot of the information again is coming from the normals. Still doesn't look brilliant, but definitely looks better. Yeah, I'll just tell you about the Scrabble thing. Let's actually get... What did I make today? I'll have an angle while I talk. I was in the bedroom, wasn't it? I made this. I made the book. Which I kind of want one over here now. Or maybe over here. I know she's got a lot of books everywhere, but it's very easy to fill a scene with books. So it's just very convenient for me. Cool. So Usually every time I go to pee and come back, the stream is over. Not today. Oh, you know what? Door should be next. Not now. Door should be next. All right. We're going to be in this it very, very soon. Something annoys me with that. Can I desaturate it a bit more? It's like maybe 1.4. If I desaturate to 1. Oh, it's colouring everything right. Because that still has like a red tint on it, doesn't it? Which make it look a bit weird. Walls. I don't even know how to do the walls is my issue. I don't know if I should just get loads of separate planes and shove them in, or if I need to do a tiling texture. But if I do a tiling texture, I then need to go decals to get all the edge detail. So, anyways, yeah, so I'll sit here while I talk about my little Scrabble story. So I was playing Scrabble with the parents and sister, and I wanted to use the word linear. So L-I-N-E-A-R. And I kid you not, my sister went, linear? You can't just make up a word. It's like, what? And I looked at my parents, both of them was like, I've never heard of that word before. And I was like, you've never heard of the word linear? And I had to Google the word linear and show it to, I had to explain it before Googling it because they didn't believe me. When linear is like when you have a singular direction towards something, when there's only one path, it is linear and not expansive. And I had to show them a definition on Google before they would let me even think about having the word, even though I didn't have the right letters to place it anyway. I was like, linear, man, come on. You can make a crazy cool toilet in that ship. I could. Like, out of all the words not to think's a real word, linear. Crazy. Anyways, that is today's stream over. We streamed for 3 hours, like an old traditional stream. Anyway, yeah, true, yeah. Yeah, just like one of our old streams. You stream for an hour because that's how long I used to stream back in the day before I got a job. Oh, I am knackered though. So I hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and I will catch you guys on Wednesday where we do some more stuff to the scene. We've done 3 assets today, so hopefully we'll be picking up steam and getting a lot of it done. Yeah. Bye everyone.